Welcome everybody. Hopefully everything is going as it should. Excellent connection, there we go. So YouTube is happy that we are off and running. Hopefully we're not buffering, or whatever the word is, like we were a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully I've fixed that now. We should be okay with audio and video. Just make sure, just go on, get in the chat quickly guys, just sort of say that everyone can hear, see, everything's okay. And then I will just carry on. Let's go say something in the chat very quickly. Or if I don't know if we can. No, I've got to sign in to do it. How daft is that? So we do it this way instead. And we're going to say greetings all. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Put your comments and questions below and I will answer them live. Excuse me, spelling mistakes. I didn't really spend much time. Hey Kieran, how you doing bud? Hope you're well. I didn't proofread that before. No, I can already see welcome, spelled welcome wrong. Yeah, fingers going a bit faster than what my brain is actually capable of typing. Right, so the idea of today is just purely a standardish kind of Q&A on the basis of one thing. So we got normal questions, because there's been a lot of questions, comments that I've seen on even videos that I've done this rolling week since after last Monday's live stream. So of course there's been different, not to say tuitional stuff. I mean, I'm not a great fan of doing tuitional based content because of the fact that you are going to get this. There's many different ways that a issue can arise, and so by me just putting do this, do that, good luck on that one, because I could make one person better but another person worse, because obviously there's multiple different ways of causing the same thing. Excuse me, YouTube Winnie Pops. Ben, good evening. Hope you are well. Thank you very much for popping along. Anyone got a question, by all means, whack it in the chat below. And I understand sometimes it's going to be difficult for people to do so, because not everybody is watching on a phone, a tablet, or such things. Some people watching on their TV, which is interesting, because that means my head would be, well, huge, because it's 65-inch sometimes when it comes to TVs, and sometimes bigger. I can't imagine my head that large. John, hello, hi, how are you? Thank you for popping on. So we'll have a quick chat about what we have, like content-wise, I've been doing this week, and I've also got other stuff that I'm doing going forward. I've got a G425 against G430, G425 iron, that is, against the 430 iron. So just to see if there is any difference or not between the old and the new. I've also got a JPX 923 hot metal high launch. I know, probably the longest named iron in the world, against the TaylorMade Stealth HD. Obviously, they're both very much so. Well, they're kind of different beasts in themselves. One's an iron, one's a hybrid. But yeah, I'll put them up together, so that'll be interesting. So, but I do want to go through some different things today. I just want to go check one, because I made a small announcement last week. I just want to go to my channel. There we go. Go to community. I just want to double check when, 5 days ago. Okay, so not 7 days ago, right? So we do need to talk about that, because obviously I made an announcement last week, the fact that I've made contact with a certain number of DTCs, so direct to consumer brands. One being Tacoma, one being 11 when it comes to their hybrid sets. I know a lot of people have been asking me about getting hold of the 11 irons, hybrids, pitching wedge as a hybrid. That would be an interesting test, and I might do that at different speeds as well, because obviously there is a reason for a set like that. Is because it's the either senior golfer or the swinger of a golf club who hasn't got a rapid movement to it, so the benefits of one of them. And I've also reached out to sub 70, and I have a few irons and products within their range, so it will be interesting to test all of those. Also Cali X, is it Cali Golf? That'll be July, because they've got a new set of irons coming out soon, and so I think we've arranged for that test to go ahead in July. But then bearing in mind it is the 26th of Juin, which means effectively we only have less than a week before it is July, so I better think about reaching out now. So that's a good point. I'll put that on my to-do list. I'll do that tomorrow, because we are talking, it's very, very close. Right, so busy day. Right, so when it comes to this week, when it comes to the content we've done this week, lots of questions surrounding the one that I did about why can't Mizuno make a best-selling driver, which is an interesting one. Many different comments, many different answers, or many answers based on slightly different things, but around the similar line. Now, when it comes to Mizuno, just for a brand, and let's face it, other brands no different. If you look at Srixon, there, and again, hopefully also reached out to Srixon Cleveland, and fingers crossed I should be getting their new bits and pieces to test and then do compares against this, that and everything else. So that'll be an exciting one as well, because they do obviously make some very good golf equipment when it comes to their irons, especially their drivers or their woods, etc. have come on a long way, very much so like Mizuno, because unfortunately Srixon, similarly to Mizuno, because it's a Japanese brand, they were known very much more for their irons, Mizuno obviously being the premium manufacturer side of things, and then Srixon perceived, well, at least used to be, not now so much at all, but perceived to be a slightly one step down the rung of the ladder kind of idea, but now I mean, they're making some very good equipment. So fingers crossed I should be getting that equipment fairly soon to do the tests on, which will be enjoyable. So, right, anyone got any questions before we start prattling on about the why Mizuno can't make a best-selling driver, or would as such? Anyone else got, because there was loads and loads of questions when it comes to, or comments, and even the one I did just before, the chunking and the blading, as in your low point, stop chunking, stop blading. I don't mind thins, just don't do fats, don't do chunks, don't do heavy contacts, whatever you want to call it. It's still the same thing. Yeah, there's lots of questions about that, and it'll be a lot easier for me to reply physically in person when it comes to in the hitting area. It's not a bay. Yeah. So right, let's go. We got the chat is still running. I want to make sure that's still okay going. That is still okay going, which is good. If anyone's got any questions, pop that in. Absolutely do, please do. And then can we go top chat? I don't want top chat, I want all chat, just in case we're losing some, because it does do that sometimes. It pops it out into a weird, wonderful box. Right, so this week, mainly the answers given from the video that I did about the why can't Mizuno make a best-selling driver, not best performing driver, best-selling driver, was purely down to, they said, marketing, and of course when marketing you're talking about one tour performance that they're saying, so there's not many people that play Mizuno products, but especially their woods on tour. But again, unfortunately, because Mizuno have got their view on what they want to do when it comes to how they market and how they want to spend their available amounts of money that they have, or decide to spend whatever money they have, it means that they don't rake out these vast sums of money that they do to the likes of the Tour Pros. They don't do it. So that will restrict them in their spectrum of people that they can get to use their product, because unfortunately, with product being as good as it is, everyone's as good as it is now, being honest. When it comes to tour players, money talks. So, I mean, there are certain instances that regardless of how much money you give a tour player, they will not relinquish a certain thing. That's been well documented when it comes to certain people's bags, regardless of what their bag composition mostly is. They might have a product, one thing or another, which has stayed the test of time. But Tour Pros being Tour Pros. But yeah, so that was the biggest thing, of the fact that obviously it's marketing. And when you've got the likes of TM and Cali, both absolute, complete giants in the world of marketing and spending money, or they say speculate to accumulate. So you spend a boatload of money in the right direction to then get a boatload of money back. And so, yeah, I mean, okay, certain companies in the past have got themselves in trouble over that one and nearly made themselves bankrupt. And again, you can comment below if you know one that has done something very similar. But to be fair, none, literally no comment whatsoever was reason behind why Mizuno can't make a best-selling driver. Literally none whatsoever was down to performance, reliability, durability, what it looks like. Nothing to do with the physical driver itself. It was purely, why can't Mizuno make a best-selling driver? Because it's not marketed in the same way that, say, TaylorMade and Callaway do theirs. And so, therefore, unless you're going to do something Cobra-like and make something funky, colours everywhere and what looks like spoilers and stuff, like a driver's crash through Halfords. I don't know what Walmart is it? I don't know what's in America. What's the brand of car places where they sell lots of different stuff that people like bolting onto their cars, spoilers and stuff. Cody says STG 220 still best driver I've hit to date. Well, yeah, I mean the 220G, the 220. Anyway, the Z and the X, Z and the X was a very, very, very stable head. Very stable head. Last year they went, because Mizuno don't go me for a long, since the blue drivers really came out and gone, and we're talking ST, as soon as the ST series started going, really, although one of them still was blue, but you know what I mean, it was, they're going for a long period of trying to learn and catch up to the likes of TM and Cali, because let's face it, Mizuno were behind. And so the STG, or the ST series of 220-ness, was designed for forgiveness. It was trying to work out what's the best way and weight, how much weight to place in a certain area to get the most forgiveness you can physically from a head. And so they did that, and of course then they used that in the 230. Well, now, I cannot say this, but all I'm saying is this. I can't say it officially, but officially, all I can say is this. Many people have said online that there is a G coming out this year, an ST230G. Now, that is what I've read online. That is what I've heard online. I cannot confirm or deny any such news. Although if there was, it would make sense, because generally speaking, Mizuno offset their G launch, or their lower spinning head launch, to their main 2 driver head launch. You kind of get the idea. So, and as Mizuno are saying this is going to be a 2-year life cycle now, I would assume that it will be the same for the G. It'll be a 230, and the next we will see will be an ST250 in 2 years' time. So, Tony says, hello Tony, first of all, thank you very much for popping on. Hi, I love the STZ, which I was fitted for, with an aftermarket shaft. Aftermarket. I'm assuming aftermarket, no upcharge. Only reason I didn't go for this T230 such was the shaft offerings. That's interesting. Did you try the head with your aftermarket shaft? Same hosel adapter. Be interesting. Axel Nielsen says, just had the strangest round of my life. Started off with 4 bogeys and 1 par, then made eagle, 5 birdies on the remaining 13 holes. 70. Been lower a few times, but strange start. Yep. Tiger always used to. It's a joke when it comes to Tiger when he started the first round, or his round, sorry. Hole 1, bogey. He used to bogey every single time, and then you go straight away. Good round of golf. Well done. That is a blooming good round of golf. That started off with 4 bogeys and 1 par, so you're right behind it already. Then made eagle and 5 birdies on the remaining 13. That is worth one of them. That is. Done with my Mizuno 223. I love them. Yes, they are a very, very good head, I must admit. It'd be interesting to see what happens when the new Mizuno Pro rears its head later on this year or early next. I would assume it would be early next. Why? Because if we go 2 years ago back to the 221, 223, 225, it was January, December-ish time. I think February, what was it? If I remember, we were fitting for it in January for it to launch in February, and you could get fitted like 4 weeks before the physical launch of it. And I think Mizuno basically did that on the basis of trying to do one thing, is trying to ensure that they don't get just clogged up. And with the way Mizuno run things, now I want to get too much into the internal workings of a company, but I am privy to a little bit when it comes to certain companies and how they work. Mizuno, especially in Japan, their forging process is ridiculously good. However, their forging process is ridiculously rigid. What I mean by that is the fact that those machines, they are hand driven as such. They're not hand driven, no, like guy pedaling really, really hard. No, to make it work. What we're saying is the fact that the guy goes in there with his billet and press the button with his foot, and this big old thing goes bang, 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 there he goes, and comes out and gets another one. So you can't just up supply overnight. It just doesn't work that way. These machines are old, they are massive, and they cost a fortune. And of course they're huge. And so that necessarily sometimes you don't have the space just to go buy one from Tesco's and stick one next to it. It doesn't work that way. So they have to plan for these things. And so by doing what they've done in the past, so it'll be interesting to see if they do something similar. Cody says, what are your thoughts on Vice Pro ball durability compared to other top 3-piece? I've always heard durability was their drawback, and know you played Vice at one point. Did. I mean, I'm down here, talk about Vice. There you go, look. Got one of their variety packs for all their balls. And so, I'll just pick on one. Obviously, you were saying, was it Vice Pro? Yeah, Vice Pro. See? There you go. Now, these things, Vice, do you know what? I've had this before, and I'll say it again. I don't mind saying it whatsoever because it's true. Very good ball. Very good ball. Right, the reason why I came away from Vice was purely this thing. When I first come across Vice all those years ago, many, many moons ago, we're talking 6 years ago now, possibly, I was really impressed with their business model on the basis of them trying to create a product which, let's face it, when it comes to the best ball in golf, which is always the best ball that works for you, not just the Pro V1. All golf ball manufacturers make basically Pro V1 lookalikes and similes. They change characteristics of their own product very slightly, so obviously they don't copy a Pro V1, but you know what I mean. I love their business model, the fact that they made something, and it's German company. German companies, generally speaking, are engineered extremely well. If anyone's had their apparel, even their umbrellas with the carbon this and everything, the most over-engineered, ridiculously over-engineered, but brilliant apparel ever, It's expensive, I think. Well, relatively, but when it comes to the ball, and I played their ball for quite a while, and they performed just as good as the Pro V1. The problem is, they went from their tagline effectively being Pro V1 performance, but not on their Pro V1 price, as in it was like ridiculous. They had something like half the cost, if not less, than a Pro V1.